Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here, and it's time for another reaction request. If you have a video that you would like me to react to, check the description below. There's a link that'll take you to a Google document with all the relevant information. So today we're watching the video titled The Top 20 Saddest Criminal Minds Episodes, and this is from MsMojo. So, yeah, I never seen a single, I don't think even a scene of Criminal Minds. I didn't even know what it was, to be honest. I had to Google it, and apparently it's a procedural, because I thought, what is this, like a true crime? But no, this is a scripted procedural. Never watched any of it. Like, I haven't really seen a whole lot of any of the modern procedurals. Growing up, I'd sometimes see some like reruns of some of the like really older ones, like the Dragnet and Columbo and stuff. But like the modern ones, I guess occasionally maybe some Law and Order, but not much else. Recently, my dad's kind of gotten into watching NCIS, so I've seen a few of those, I guess, like reruns of that. But yeah, Criminal Minds, I never seen any of it, only had vaguely heard of it, so I don't really know what to expect here. Apparently it's got some sad episodes, though, and I'm going to hear about them, so let's see what we got. Top 20 Saddest Criminal Minds Episodes, here we go.
I am standing here because of choices I made. Don't let my son be Jacob's last victim.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Saddest Criminal Minds episodes.
All the love in the world won't save you.
We're not finished yet.
For this list, we're looking at the most tragic BAU cases that continue to break our
BAU?
hearts. Since we'll be covering major plot points, a spoiler warning is now in effect. What do you think is the saddest episode? Let us know in the comments.
What is BAU?
Number 20, True Night. Some of the most tragic cases on Criminal Minds involve subjects who've experienced significant trauma.
It's okay, son. It's okay.
I couldn't help her.
This one is no exception. LA comic book artist Johnny McHale goes on nightly killing sprees motivated by revenge. He tracks down members of the gang who made him watch as they killed his fiancée Vicky. The fact that he had proposed after she'd revealed she was expecting just moments before only adds to the tragedy. His actions are reflected in his work, but he's unaware of the crimes he's been committing.
What's this? It's something I'm working on. What do you mean? That sentence needs an explanation.
Johnny unknowingly suffers from severe post-traumatic stress disorder, and when interrogated by the team, the awful memories come back to him. The episode heart-wrenchingly ends with him hospitalized, looking to hear Vicky's voice by repeatedly calling her.
Hey, this is Vicky. Can't come to the phone right now because I'm out living my life. Leave it at the beep.
Number 19, The Big Wheel.
Yeah.
Brace yourself. This one hurts. As a kid, Vincent Rowling saw his dad murder his mom. As if that weren't traumatic enough, there's a video of it. Now an adult, Vincent records himself killing women resembling her.
Not a one-off. The filming of his kills makes him a sexual psychopath. We'll find more, many more. Just like this one.
The most devastating parts of this episode involve Stan, a boy who was home when Vincent took his mom's life. However, Stan is blind and couldn't identify him as the perpetrator. Feeling a connection to the boy, Vincent bonds with him to the point where Stan wishes he was his father.
You're gonna hear bad things about me. But you can never, ever wish to die, Stan. Because you're special.
While they're atop a Ferris wheel for Stan's birthday, Vincent dies of previously sustained injuries. In the end, Stan realizes that this is the man who killed his mother. In other words, the story is downright gutting.
Did he kill my mom?
Yeah.
Number 18, Dorado Falls. During his time as a Navy SEAL, Luke Dolan was part of Operation Dorado Falls. He was ordered to kill 2 witnesses as part of the mission, which seemingly led to PTSD.
This is Red Echo. We have unwanted targets. Permission to abort.
Negative, Red Echo. The operation is a go. I repeat, the operation is a go.
After being involved in a car accident later on, Dolan became extremely paranoid and came to believe his wife and daughter had been taken. Reed eventually deduces that he's actually suffering from Capgras syndrome, a condition that makes someone think that imposters have replaced those they know.
Basically, the neural connection between the visual cortex and the emotional center of the brain becomes severed so that looking at a loved one doesn't elicit the same emotional response one would expect.
So you think that they're an imposter?
Tragically, the delusion was so strong that he killed several people, including his parents. It's extremely tough to see it unfold. Had the BAU not put his wife and daughter in protective custody, he would have likely harmed them too. Just the thought of it has us shuddering.
Daddy! Daddy, what are you...
No! Change your ego! No! Get him out of here!
Number 17, The Uncanny Valley. In her youth, Samantha Malcolm lost her mother and began being abused by her father, Dr. Arthur Malcolm. He then notably subjected her to electroshock therapy. Though he claimed it was to help her, it was really to keep her from exposing him. The extreme and unnecessary procedure had lasting psychological effects on Samantha into adulthood.
Oh my God, she was doomed. Like Emily Bronte doomed, like Shakespeare doomed, like red-shirted ensign in Star Trek doomed.
After seeing her father giving 3 special dolls to someone else, Samantha sought replacements. She began taking petite women to be her new dolls, putting them into drug-induced paralysis until they died.
Don't leave me. Let us go. I can't.
Whether or not you find her sympathetic, denying the physical, mental, and emotional trauma Samantha endured is horrific. It adds a dark, awful layer to a deeply shocking case.
Listen, you need to go with these men, but your friends can go with you, okay?
They won't take them away.
I promise no one will ever take them away again.
Number 16, Luke. Luke Alves joins the BAU in Season 12 after the team enlisted his help to track down escaped serial killers, including the Crimson King Daniel Cullen. We learn that his longtime army buddy and former fugitive task force partner Phil Brooks once had a horrific encounter with Cullen that left him seriously injured.
Try not to flinch. Phil told me later, that's what he said.
We meet Phil the next season when Luke visits him at physical therapy, where he's struggling to regain his ability to walk. He returns in Season 14 having made progress, only to get targeted by Jeremy Grant, a former sniper out for revenge.
Any last words?
Go.
Luke finds Phil murdered and almost kills Grant in retaliation. Seeing him lose his best friend, who had overcome so much in such a horrible way, is always beyond heartbreaking.
Sometimes it's hard, you know. This job. Hard to find someone that you feel safe with.
Number 15, Demonology. SSA Emily Prentice isn't one to let her emotions get the best of her. But here, she's heartbroken over the death of a close childhood friend, Matthew Benton.
Matthew was incredibly messed up, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. But he was important to me.
As teenagers, he supported her through an abortion, and she feels responsible for causing him to doubt the church. Matthew also battled substance use disorder, and his religious parents blamed Emily, convinced she was a harmful influence.
Matthew was a sweet boy. He was just troubled.
He was never troubled until he met you.
He became paranoid, leading them to believe he was possessed, which culminated in an exorcism. The team discovers Matthew died of a heart attack caused by the ritual. Not only did Emily lose a friend, but she knows he passed terrified and in pain. Though the priest responsible for his and other deaths is apprehended, it's painful to watch.
It's like the end of The Dead. When Greta remembers the boy she loved when she was younger. And she says, I think he died for me.
Number 14, The Replicator.
Aaron.
Not quite. Does it ever get confusing, that whole Aaron thing?
Where is she?
Closer than you think, but she's not doing well.
BAU Section Chief Director Aaron Strauss had been an antagonist. She always had it out for the unit, questioning Hotch's leadership and the team's efficiency in general. Throughout the seasons, she softened, especially after she went into recovery for alcohol use disorder. By season 8, Strauss was on much better terms with everyone, especially Rossi. Unfortunately, we didn't get to enjoy the redemption arc for long.
Did you get everything you wanted? What? In life? Did you?
John Curtis, aka the Replicator, poisons her and makes her consume alcohol, ensuring she won't survive. Hotch then locates a disoriented Strauss outside and consoles her as she slowly passes away.
I can't see you.
I'm right here.
I don't want to die alone.
I'm right here. It's okay.
Many probably weren't expecting to be this sad over a previously unlikable character dying, but her fate hit hard, making the episode all the more poignant.
You can do that with good writing.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application.
Number 13, Nelson Sparrow. In this season 10 episode, the team deals with the death of their former colleague Jason Gideon.
Is this how it's gonna go? All my friends dying off? First Aaron, then Harrison, and now Jason. Disease is one thing, but murder?
Gideon was revisiting an old unsolved case and got a lead. But Donnie Malik, an unsub operating since the 1970s, killed him before he could catch him. At the scene, everyone tearfully grieves him, especially Spencer. It's hard not to tear up alongside them. However, they have to push some of those feelings aside to focus on solving the case. Still, the BAU members take moments to remember Gideon throughout, with the loss seemingly hitting Spencer the hardest.
I haven't seen him in a really long time, but I think about him all the time, and I knew he was always out there, and now it just feels empty.
The raw emotion is impossible to ignore. Nelson Sparrow was a powerful memorial for the character fans missed, as actor Mandy Patinkin exited the show in season 3.
When a good man is hurt, all who would be called good must suffer with him.
Good to have a good send-off.
Number 12, Sick Day. The BAU has seen some awful things, but some affect them and us more than most. In Sick Day, JJ returns home after a case involving youth. Those are always heartbreaking.
You want to talk about it? Well, you know we have to, right? Remember what the bureau therapist said? No holding it in ever. We bring it home, we gotta get it out.
She recounts the string of abductions by serial arsonist John David Bates. It was a race against the clock trying to find missing teen Francesca Morales. And while speaking with the girl's family, she bonded with her little brother Roberto, who was later taken too.
I know you're scared, but we are your friends. Okay, and we will not stop until we get her back.
JJ and Luke caught Bates with the victims, which also included his sister Trisha. Ultimately, they rescued both Trisha and Berto but weren't able to save Francesca. The events themselves, and the toll they take on a guilt-ridden JJ, make this an excruciatingly difficult watch.
Maybe if I went to her first, I could have saved both of them. No, I shouldn't have sent Luke out. We could have saved all of them, I know that.
Number 11, Riding the Lightning. Jacob Dawes and Sarah Jean Mason were known as a serial killer couple, despite Sarah Jean allegedly not participating in the crimes.
I knew he brought women back to his workshop.
It's a long way from knowing he was killing them.
They died as a result of my neglect.
The BAU interviews them on death row in a bid to locate more victims. Though Sarah Jean confessed to murdering her son Riley years ago, Gideon puts the pieces together. Riley actually lives with an adopted family, unaware of his infamous birth parents and their crimes. Sarah Jean wants to keep it that way to protect him.
This isn't about you or me.
I know it isn't. That's why I'm not going to let Riley lose the greatest gift he never knew he had.
But that is my gift to him. And I'll not let you destroy that.
Though Gideon tries fixing things, he ultimately respects her decision. At this point, we are emotional messes. In the end, Gideon is there as the innocent woman is executed. We can't help but feel all sorts of complex emotions watching the tragic story unfold.
Albert Pines said, "What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others in the world remains and is immortal."
Number 10, Ashes and Dust. This season 2 episode begins with a family desperately trying to escape their house as it's burning. It's one of the show's best openings, but also one of the most visceral.
Somebody! Somebody please help us!
Hotch and Prentice go to speak to Mrs. Cutler, the only survivor of the fire. Covered in serious burns, she's just minutes away from dying. Unfortunately, she has to relive the harrowing experience in order to help the BAU find the unsub. The woman's cries for help and pleas to see her family are agonizing. Hotch sits with her as she takes her last breaths, leaving him and the audience grieving the deaths of this innocent family.
I can stay with you until you're ready. If you like.
I'd like that.
Number 9. Lauren. Emily Prentice joined the BAU back in season 2, quickly becoming a fan favorite as well as a dear friend to the team. In this episode, we learn about her past undercover work with Interpol and her relationship with Ian Doyle.
Tu es plein de surprises, dit-on.
Si tu savais.
Now that Doyle has escaped a prison camp, he's out for revenge. After he attacks her, she's taken to the hospital as her life hangs on the line. Hotch tells the team that she died on the table, leaving everyone devastated.
Spence.
I didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
Of course, we know she's not actually dead, and she later returns to the BAU. But seeing the team mourn her supposed death is still heartbreaking. This also marks Paget Brewster's temporary absence from the show. Number 8. Sex, Birth, Death. High schooler Nathan Harris approaches Reed near the subway, saying he attended one of his talks about sadists. He's afraid of his own urges and dark thoughts, worried he'll actually hurt someone one day.
Why'd you run away from me?
Because, I don't know, I thought you'd say I was crazy and there's no way to stop it.
The team has dealt with a few unsubs who want to understand their own psychology. But for Nathan, he needs to know before he acts on them. The team discovers that Nathan isn't the unsub killing sex workers around DC. However, it is recommended that he's hospitalized.
Miss Hardy doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Positive sign, but intelligence and awareness don't always allow us to control our urges. Admitting a problem doesn't mean you can manage it.
If I put him in a hospital, I'd be telling him that he's a monster.
No. You just say right now he's sick and he needs help.
At the end, the teenager attempts to take his own life, feeling that this is the only way to save others he may harm in the future. The late Anton Yelchin gives an unforgettable performance as a young man in fear of himself.
You don't want to do this. I have to.
Number 7. Hope. Near the 7th anniversary of her daughter's disappearance, Monica, a member of Garcia's victim support group, goes missing. Bill, another member of the group, reveals that he is the one who abducted Hope.
I bet since she got that letter, he read it 100 times.
How do you know about the letter?
He promises to take Monica to her. Desperate to see her daughter again, she agrees to go with him. Later, he admits that he joined the support group after Hope took her own life in captivity. As if it wasn't twisted enough that he kidnapped a child, Bill lures Monica with plans to create another Hope.
All those things that you missed out on with Hope, you'll get to experience with this new baby that we're going to create.
While at Bill's house, she's faced with Hope's life as a prisoner and eventually finds her body. Seeing a mother mentally tortured by her daughter's captor is sickening to watch.
They're chained like an animal.
No. You don't understand what happened.
My child.
Number 6. 7 Seconds. This intense episode begins with a frantic search for young Katie Jacobs, who disappeared while at the mall with her family. Her parents are obviously distraught, but there's something off about her aunt and uncle. The team searches the Jacobs home and finds evidence that Katie has been hiding a terrible secret.
I know these signs. Acting out on her toys, wetting the bed, she's obviously covering up something about that necklace.
When she's found, medics have to revive her as the parents watch. Katie's dad finds out his twin brother harmed his daughter and that his sister-in-law almost killed her out of jealousy.
Instead of shielding her from more pain, you blamed her for your own.
No.
Yes, you did. You have robbed Katie of her childhood. Are you going to steal the rest of her life from her as well?
No, enough!
Both Susan and Richard are arrested, leaving their son Jeremy without parents. By the end, an entire family is destroyed.
Susan consoling Katie's mother is an image that's gonna haunt me for a while.
Meet Waterpik Sensonic
Yeah,
Care,
this
the
show
number
looks
one recommended water flosser brand.
pretty
combined
intense.
with
Number 5, Zugzwang. Many fans have a soft spot for Spencer Reid. So when he began a romantic relationship with Maeve, we wanted all the happiness in the world for him. Because of Maeve's stalker, the two only spoke covertly over the phone.
And yes, this is how it has to be. For today, at least.
Well, guess I'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
But despite the distance between each other, their bond was strong. Sadly, the couple never actually did meet face to face until they're at the mercy of Maeve's stalker Diane.
I don't love you. Sorry.
I understand.
Reid does all he can to save her, but Diane shoots herself along with Maeve right in front of him. This scars Reid and us forever.
Who's Thomas Merton? He knows.
Number 4, Profiler Profiled. Derek always appears tough and somewhat guarded, but when he's accused of murdering young boys in his hometown of Chicago, he's forced to open up to his team. When Derek was just a kid, his father, a cop, was killed while on duty. Growing up without a dad was difficult, but Carl Buford, a youth center director and football coach, stepped in to supposedly help out. To others, it looked like he did, but behind closed doors, Buford abused him. Now, Derek learns he's done the same with other boys in the neighborhood.
He did him to me, too. You do whatever you think you gotta do to keep him happy because he's the closest thing to a father you got. But what he's doing to you is wrong.
He confronts Buford in a powerful, vulnerable scene, leading to his arrest.
Actually, I'm saying you have everything to do with making me who I am. Because of you, I'm somebody who gets to spend the rest of his life making sure guys like you go down.
Number 3, Revelations. From witnessing the death of his girlfriend to being framed and imprisoned for murder in Mexico, Spencer Reid has gone through hell.
This will be over quickly if you just confess your sins.
What a sinner.
His first traumatic experience as a member of the BAU comes in Season 2, when he's captured by an unsub with a dissociative identity disorder. Tobias Henkel's 2 other personalities, Charles, his deceased father, and Raphael, an angel, torture Reid for, quote, his sins.
I'm not a devil. I'm not a devil. I'm a man. My name is Spencer Reid, and I have a mother, and I have a father just like you, and they taught me the Bible. Let me recite the Bible.
Time to confess, Spencer Reid.
Oh, God.
Confess.
Tobias himself empathizes with Reid, giving him Dilaudid to help with the pain. This causes Reid's struggle with substance use disorder long after he's rescued by his team. Seeing him suffer physically, mentally, and emotionally for an entire episode is excruciating.
Oh my God, he's killing him.
Number 2, Mosley Lane. Any case involving children is incredibly sad, and this one is up there with the worst.
What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? It's not fair. Let her go.
For almost a decade, Roger and Anita Roycewood abducted youth from public places, including Charlie Hillridge.
I'm not supposed to touch strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I'm your brother.
Why did you bring me here?
As a teen, Charlie is now forced to aid in the capture of others. However, he does what he can to help his brothers and sisters.
Do what they say, okay? It'll make it easier.
When a little girl disappears from a festival, the team thinks it could be connected to Charlie's case. Parents of other missing children gather at the BAU office while the team searches for the unsubs. Some are found, while others have been cremated in the Roycewoods incinerator. Between the distraught parents and the terrified kidnapped victims, this is undoubtedly one of the show's most tragic episodes.
He died protecting that little girl.
He was alive yesterday.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. North Maimon. The teenage girls are forced to make an impossible choice.
2 of you will leave this room alive. 1 of you will die.
Yeah, that's...
Outfoxed. Soldiers overseas return home to find their families murdered.
Is there somewhere you'd like us to go?
No. I'd like to go home now.
The Tall Man. JJ learns what led to her sister's death.
Rosalind probably wasn't your first victim. But Bethany, she will be your last.
Damaged. Rossi is haunted by a horrific double murder.
I've seen so much death and pain, but that sound, it's been 20 years, and I can still hear them screaming every night.
The Bittersweet Science. An unsub says a tearful goodbye to his son with cancer.
So if it's time, right?
Yeah.
It's all right. Because you fought a hell of a fight. Your mother and I both love you. Don't you ever forget that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, 100. Arguably the worst unsub the BAU has ever faced is George Foyette, aka the Reaper.
Are you scared? You should.
It seems like a lot of
serial killer returns
horror in
after
the show.
over a decade when his contract with the Boston detective on his case expires. This was also one of Hotch's first cases in the BAU. After he's caught, he's sent to jail, which he quickly escapes. Fearing for their safety, Hotch puts his ex-wife Haley and his son Jack into witness protection. But in the show's 100th episode, Foyette tracks them down. Hotch is on the phone with Haley when she realizes Foyette is going to kill her.
I know you didn't sign on for this.
Neither did you.
I'm sorry for everything.
Promise me that you will tell him how we met.
Hotch and the whole team listen as Foyette shoots Haley. Seeing Hotch hold Haley's lifeless body is one of, if not the most heart-wrenching scene in the entire show.
Get out of here. Go see if they need help downstairs.
Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Well, yeah, that looks like a heavy, as these procedurals go, that looks like a heavy one for sure. Wow. Let me read a bit more about this show. Yeah, police procedural crime drama. Behavioral analysis unit. Okay, so that's what BOW is. Which, yes, I'm going to call it BOW. I guess that's just what my mind reads at this point. Ratings hit, yeah, 344 episodes. Wow. So this is a big series that I just somehow have never encountered. And I mean, I don't really know how my reaction to this was, because since I have no idea who these characters are, never seen a single scene of this, I'm not really connected, not really into it. But I like, just from the explanation of some of the episodes, I can admire the ideas. The ideas seem good. So, gotta hand it to them there. It looks like a pretty good one of these. I mean, I haven't really watched a whole lot of procedurals, but I enjoy them sometimes. It's a good format. That's why it's lasted so long. And this one, from just this description of the meaning behavioral analysis, and just from what we just watched, I guess this one takes a closer look at like breaking down the criminals and why they do what they do. I mean, obviously the name being Criminal Minds, that's a pretty big hint as well. It's more focused on that, maybe, than like the police work even. I don't know, but interesting. For something I know nothing about, definitely an interesting video to watch. Anyway, hope you guys liked the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.